So today's story is adapted from John Feister, who's the editor at AmericanCatholic.org, and it's based on an old story from the 13th century recorded by Thomas of Celano. So today we're going to hear about St. Francis and the wolf. Perhaps the most famous story of St. Francis is when he tamed the wolf that was terrorizing the people of Gubbio. While Francis was staying in that town, he learned of a wolf so big and bad and ravenous that it was not only killing and eating animals, which is what wolves do, but people too. So people took up arms and they went after it. They were going to get this wolf. But those who encountered the wolf perished at its sharp teeth. Pretty big bad wolf. Villagers became afraid then to leave the city walls. They were afraid to leave their homes. So St. Francis had pity on the people. He felt bad for them. And he decided to go out and meet that wolf and see what he could do. He was desperately warned by the people, but he insisted that God would take care of him. He had this deep faith. So a brave friar and several peasants accompanied Francis outside the city gates. But soon the peasants, they got scared, they lost heart, and they said that they would go no further. So Francis and his companion, the friar, they began to walk on into the woods. And they're going along, and then suddenly this wolf with his jaws agape charged out of the woods at them. Francis bowed in prayer before the wolf. And this gesture of grace caused the wolf to slow down and close its mouth. Then Francis called out to the creature, "Come to me, brother wolf. In the name of God, I order you not to hurt anyone." And amazingly, the wolf listened to him. The wolf lowered its head and it laid down at St. Francis's feet, meek as a lamb. You all have seen a lamb, right? You know, they're pretty gentle and small. Well, this wolf, he made himself small and gentle like a lamb. So St. Francis then, he explained to the wolf that the wolf had been terrorizing the people, killing not only animals, but humans too. And he reminded the wolf that both animals and humans are made in the image of God. So he said, "Brother wolf, I want to make peace between you and the people of Gubbio. They will harm you no more, and you must no longer harm them. All past crimes are to be forgiven." So he's trying to make a deal then with the wolf where everybody can live in peace. The wolf showed its assent by moving its body and nodding its head. This wolf can't speak English, of course. Then, to the absolute surprise of the gathering crowd, Francis asked the wolf to make a pledge. As St. Francis extended his hand to receive the pledge, so the wolf extended its front paw and placed it in the saint's hand. Then Francis commanded the wolf to follow him into town to make a peace pact with the townspeople. So the wolf followed St. Francis back into town. By the time they got to the town square, everyone was there to see this miracle with the wolf. With the wolf at his side, St. Francis gave the town a sermon on the wondrous love of God and explained that it's through this wondrous love of God that he was able to get this wolf into town with him. And then he offered the townspeople peace on behalf of the wolf. The townspeople promised in a loud voice to feed the wolf. Then Francis asked the wolf if he would agree to live in peace under these terms. He bowed his head and twisted his body in a way that convinced everyone he accepted the pact. Then once again the wolf placed its paw in Francis's hand as a sign of the pact, a sign of acceptance. So from that day on, the people kept their end of the pact. They kept the pact they had made. And the wolf lived for 2 whole years amongst the townspeople, going from door to door for food. It hurt no one, and no one hurt it. Even the dogs didn't bark at it. Wow, think about that. Even the dogs didn't bark at it. My dog barks at everything. When the wolf finally died of old age, the people of Gubbio were sad. The wolf's peaceful ways had been a living reminder to them of the wonders and the patience and the virtues and holiness of St. Francis. The wolf had been a living symbol of the power and the grace of the living